I'm Tony Lay. Welcome to episode 2 of Whispers. I hope that you're warm and comfortable wherever you're listening from tonight. It's still winter. It's cold out tonight. Snow is even falling in some places, which makes tonight the perfect setting for our story. That begins, like many, out of curiosity, when in 1950, a southwestern England journal of inquiry comes across an old newspaper's small mention of an incident from almost 100 years earlier. The journal reaches out to the public for any more information about this small clipping and the incident it mentions. And that's when history whispers back that something strange took place in Devon, England on February 8th, 1855. According to reports from that time, a snowstorm had blown its way through Devon, leaving a fresh blanket of snow on the evening of February 8th. Devon and the surrounding area were quiet and quaint rural villages. But in the middle of that night, something occurred that would rocket the area into national news come the morning of February 9th. According to several letters, and even an unpublished letter marked "not for publication," what appeared in the snow was everywhere and covered miles of territory as others began to report finding the strange phenomenon in villages miles from Devon the next day. In the days immediately following the discovery in the snow, many of the more superstitious among the townsfolk dared not venture out at dark. Many, noticing the things in the snow at their doorsteps, locked their homes, said prayers, and repented for their sins. While the magnitude of the Devon incident was on an incredibly large scale, it wasn't the first time this had happened. 15 years earlier, in a rural area of Scotland, the same sort of event took place, and no one could identify what exactly had caused what they'd seen there either. A month after the Scottish incident, in Poland, another report was recorded of a similar incident on a sandy hill. The Polish report stated that locals who saw what lied in the sand are attributed to supernatural influences. While there were many who simply viewed the incident in Devon as curious, and while this same phenomenon had occurred elsewhere around the globe, even here in the United States, and while there have been various and sound theories about what happened on that cold night in Devon and the surrounding countryside, we may never know. The absolute answer is still, to this day, elusive. But what doesn't seem to be in question in any of these stories surrounding the repeat appearance of what was found the next morning in the snow was that they looked like footprints. But unlike the safe, familiar footprints of someone wearing shoes, these footprints were different. And that difference is the reason that many in Devon and the surrounding areas locked their doors, closed their shutters, said their prayers, and attributed these footprints to something more supernatural. These footprints appeared as if something had walked across rooftops, along fences, over property lines, and even up to dozens of doors of what seemed like selected homes, and did so for miles. Whatever it was, walked upright, on two legs. These footprints, as well as those 15 years earlier, those in Poland, and even those found later in the United States, all shared the same sinister description, a description, particularly in 1855, of something chillingly familiar to those that believe in such things. The footprints were described as cloven hooves. If that description hasn't quite registered with you yet, one local Devon reverend even invented a story about escaped kangaroos in order to distract and console his distraught parishioners and the general population's concerns from what many believed those eerie signature footprints might have been. A visit from the devil himself. You've been listening to Whispers, a short-form podcast of interesting and strange history that's slowly being forgotten about. Thank you for listening, and until next time, good night.